Hello, my name is Brittany, and this is my famous person informative speech for my communications class at Anne Arundel County Community College. Have you ever seen the beautiful life that lies below the surface of the sea? Do you know how it's possible for us to see and explore this beautiful and extravagant world? What if I told you it was a naval gunner officer who started it all? Who is this man, you ask? He is Jacques Cousteau. And this is what you probably did not know about Mr. Cousteau. In 1930, he went through the Naval Academy, spending 2 years in training, and then went on to spend a year studying abroad at sea. In 1935, he started training to get his aviation's license to become a naval pilot. But in 1936, he suffered from a very, very bad, almost life-threatening car accident where his car went off the road. This accident then left him paralyzed in his right arm. He then had no function. The doctors wanted to amputate his arm because it had a very bad infection in it. He swore up and down his arm did not need to be amputated and went on to do rehabilitation by himself, swimming in the ocean. During that time, he modified a pair of his aviation goggles to then be able to be used underwater so he could see what he was swimming in. During that time, he then journeyed down to the sea floor for as long as he could, only holding just his breath, and started to fall in love with what he saw. And in 1938, Mr. Cousteau then became a spy for the French intelligence. In 1943 to 1950, he was tasked with clearing out the underwater mines left behind from World War II that the minesweepers did not get to. All of this was only possible and asked of him because in 1943, he co-invented the aqualung, which is the picture down on the left. He came across this invention just by playing with some snorkel tubing and the apparatus that he had made for breathing. And in 1959, he created the first diving submersible, which he called the diving saucer. As you can see, he seems very, very proud of his little yellow buggy. Not only did he have these two inventions, he was also very instrumental in the development of the underwater camera, which survived the depth pressures that exist in the ocean and allowed us on land to see what he was seeing below the surface. Now, I don't know about you, but most people wouldn't get in that water just to see that if they knew a great white was lingering around. In 1966, he used his camera to air his first hour-long TV show, The World of Jacques-yves Cousteau. And then in 1968, he produced his hit TV series that ran for 9 seasons called The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. Calypso, as pictured here, was known for her time with Mr. Cousteau. What everyone might not realize is that Calypso herself, from 1941 to 47, was in fact a World War II minesweeper. And from 1949 to 1950, after she retired from being a minesweeper, she became the Maltese Fairy. 1950 is when Mr. Calypso finally bought her and used her to film all of his series off of, and well, she was his floating lab. In 1996, the dear Calypso suffered a horrible fate, hitting a barge hitting her in the Singapore harbor, where then she sunk. And from 1996 to 1997, Mr. Cousteau attempted to raise enough money to buy a replacement ship to continue his work. That dream of his was not fulfilled due to the fact in 1997 he died unexpectedly in Paris. Without Mr. Cousteau and the Calypso, we would not know how big of an impact the ocean and the world that lies below the surface has on our lives, our daily lives. The currents changing in the ocean affect how many tropical storms we get, affects how much rain we're going to see, how dry the air will be. And without him, we would not be able to continue to see the ever so drastic changes the ocean floor sees. My first slide that showed that beautiful, vibrant reef, many parts of the ocean today are dead. They're dead zones. The reefs are white, and the life has been wiped out of them. Many scientists are trying to restore this to get it back to what Cousteau showed us in his shows so long ago. But that is a very, very long process and will take a lot of time and patience. But as an upcoming marine oceanographer such as myself, this presentation has, well, given me my idol. To see what this man came from, which had absolutely nothing to do with going such in depth with the ocean. I'd love nothing more than to be able to follow in his footsteps just a tiny bit and accomplish an eighth of what he's done. Will it ever be possible? Who knows? To find the information for my speech, I used 6 different websites, all credible. These are the first 3 I used. The biography by A&E was very, very informative, along with the 5 things you probably never knew about Jacques Cousteau. There's many, many things I did not have the time to touch on, that if you would then like to go and look more into the ocean yourself, I highly suggest the websites I have used. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful night.